Hello, welcome back to the Messy Cook. Today we were going to make the viral Snickers bar bark. I guess that's the best way to put it. I did do something similar a while back, a couple of years ago at Christmas time, and they were like a Snickers bar bite I did at Christmas. So that video is on my channel. So what I have here is a pack that I've just opened up of dates. And these are really sticky. They have a little bit of syrup in them, but I'm not too concerned about that. Might just be the residual stickiness from the, or juices from the dates. So what I'm doing is I'm pitting them. These ones weren't pitted. You can buy pitted dates, which is probably easier. But what I'm doing is I'm taking these and I'm going to cover this entire sheet or however long it is before these all these run out. So I'm going to try to make as best a square as I can with these. We're going to put them on and then we're just going to do a little flatten down just to make sure that we get a nice even layer. After that we're going to spread on I have some homemade almond cashew butter. You can use peanut butter if you are allergic to nuts. Oops, pressing a seed back in there. You can use sunflower butter if that works best for you, so whatever one works best. So this is going to take a little while, so I'm going to continue with this, taking the seeds out and just pressing these down, and basically we just want to make a nice even layer. So I'll continue when I get these all done and we'll get to the next step. As I'm going along here doing these, I just want to talk a little bit about dates. So dates are a really great natural sweetener for things. This is considered a healthier snack because, you know, these are high in fiber. They're really great for digestion. And they're super sweet. I know people go, dates, ugh, whatever. I hated dates as a kid. You know, my mom would make date squares. I'd be like, ugh, yuck, or whatever. And I think it was not even that I didn't like them. I think it was just the thought of dates. It sounded like something our old grandparents would eat and yucky, whatever. But it's the same thing with prunes. They're actually really delicious. You could probably make this with prunes as well. But if you're looking to have a sweetener or a nice alternative to just putting sugar in recipes, or if you're making a smoothie and you need a little bit of sweetness, you can throw a couple dates in there because one, it's going to add you some fiber. Two, it's going to give that natural sweetness that you want. And they're pretty sweet, so you can only need to add in one or two, and honestly, that's more than enough. So anyhow, that's my little bit on dates today, so I'm just going to continue with this and we'll come back when we get a layer. So I've got these all kind of lined out, and I've just dampened my hands with a little bit of water. I've seen people do this different ways in the videos that I've seen. Some people roll it out with a rolling pin or whatnot. I'm just going to use my hands a little bit damp, and not wet, just slightly damp, so the stuff doesn't stick, because I think if I put my rolling pin on there, I think what's going to happen is it's just going to come up one big sticky mess, and I don't really want to do that. I want to keep as much of a square shape as possible. And I'm just going to press. You can see I'm just pressing in the corners, try to make this as best as square, and just want to make sure these edges are actually just staying aligned. We don't want to, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you do a round or whatever shape you want, this is just what I'm doing because I think this will be easiest for me. And what I want to do, yeah, that's all pressed. You want to basically make it one big piece. Now I'm going to zoom in here and you can see, let's see if we can zoom in, maybe. Of course it doesn't want to zoom, but there are, I'll bring this up here. There's a couple spots if we look close, like here and here. It's hard to see on camera that are blank or empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last few dates and I'm going to press them into those spots, and if we have to break it up, that's fine. So I'm literally, we're just kind of doing a almost like a cut and paste. It's a little art project. We want to make sure we have a solid bottom, because after this what we're going to do, I'll break that one in half, is we're going to put on the nut butter. Now you can use peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter. Like I said, if you're allergic to nuts, and you can do the sunflower butter or the sun butter, that's something that is would be really good on this as well. So you can have a nut-free treat. So this is kind of like a Snickers bar bark, I guess. So I think I only have one or two more little spots left here. There we go. So I'm gonna get these last couple of spots, or the last 3 dates I have, and we're gonna get to the nut butter next. Okay, so I don't know how I didn't press record on this, but I've taken an almond cashew butter that I made about a month ago, and I've put about 1.5 cups of that on the top of the dates. Like I said, you can also use prunes for this if you want. It's entirely up to you. The dates seem to be the in thing right now. They are full of fiber, as are prunes. They both taste delicious. No, they're not your grandma's thing that you don't eat. This is actually really, really delicious. So basically what I've done is I spread this on the top. I'm going to get as close to, I'm going to use my finger, they are clean. I want to get as close to the edges as I can. Like I said, I used about 1.5 cups here. So use whatever butter, nut butter you like, or non-nut butter. You can use sun butter, which is, I think, a sunflower seed butter for those that are allergic to nuts. You can use that instead, so you can still get this this treat and have it as nice as it should be. So it's a little bit off, get it in the corner. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the freezer, or you can put it in your refrigerator. I'm going to do a freezer just to speed things up a little bit, probably 15 or 20 minutes. We're going to come back when that's cold, and in the meantime, we're going to get the chocolate topper ready, and we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so I've set up a double boiler here. I have about 1 inch of water in the bottom of a pan. I'm using just a metal bowl on the top. You can use Pyrex or glass bowl that's oven safe. Anything that's oven safe, basically, you're fine with. I'm going to turn this burner on here, and it's just kind of on my lower burner. So I'm going to turn it on to about medium, and I just want to get that water heating. In the meantime, we're going to come over and get this chocolate chopped up and ready to go. Okay, so here I have 72% dark chocolate. Now I'm using dark chocolate because dark chocolate is a little healthier. The sweetness from the dates is going to make it sweet enough. I don't really want to do just like a semi-sweet or a milk chocolate, although I love milk chocolate. I think a dark chocolate is really nice contrast, so it gives it, I don't want to say bitterness because there is some sweetness to a 72%. I wouldn't go any higher than that personally. So I've got a large bar here. I think I just have this Irresistible's 72% cocoa. There we go, sorry. That's the one I'm using. It was a large bar. I just got it at Food Basics. I'm going to cut up probably 1.5 bars. I'll put the other half in a container in the fridge. I just want to be sure that this is going to be enough. Set that aside, and basically all I'm going to do, I'll break this again, that already smells lovely, is we're just going to chop this. I don't need to chop it too small, but just small enough that it'll melt quick enough. So I'm going to get this, maybe I shouldn't do it in 2 layers there. I'll get a nice slip and cut myself most likely. I'm just going to show you approximately the size we want to cut this in. You know, chocolate chip size or shards or whatever works best for you. So maybe the size you would do if you're doing a chocolate chunk cookie. That's probably your best bet. There we go. So these are kind of sizes you want. You just want, there, that's basically what you're looking for. So I'm just going to continue to chop this while that water heats up, and then we'll get the chocolate in and melting. Okay, so I've got the chocolate all cut up. This is probably 1.5 cups to 2 cups of chocolate. So we're just going to slide that very carefully in the bowl because I don't want to lose any of that. I figure hopefully this is enough. What we're going to do is, once the dates and the peanut butter have chilled and I put it in my freezer, this is melted. What we'll do is we'll get it all over the top. We'll drizzle it and spread it around. Let me get every last crumb there. But I figure if I use 1.5 cups of the nut butter, it's probably going to take about 1.5 cups of chocolate. And I think this is probably 1.5 cups already. Oh, that's hot. Well, let's put an oven mitt on. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit more. And that's already melting, so that's perfect. This is lovely. Like I said, if you don't want to use dark chocolate, you want to do milk, that's fine. You want to do semi-sweet, white, whatever chocolate you like. You want to use the melting candies, melting wafers. You can do that, whatever works best for you. Like I said, I'm just using dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's actually a really good antioxidant. If you're going to have chocolate, that's the kind of really you should be having for health-wise. So we just want to melt that right down until the lumps are gone. Turn down just a little bit more, and hopefully this will be enough. So We just want to melt it till the lumps are completely gone, and that's already looking really, really beautiful. Not quite there, but that's okay. So I'm going to melt this till this is completely melted, and we'll come back. Okay, so I have basically this melted. Honestly, it's melted down. I never thought about it, but as you get it all melted down, it's actually going to come down to a little bit less of what is measured in the cup because of the little spaces between there. So I ended up doing the entire bar, and the bar was 300-gram bar for the whole thing. So I'm just going to continue melting this, because honestly, when I looked at this, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's going to be quite enough to cover the entire top of that. And if it's a little extra, well, a little extra chocolate never hurt anybody. It's just going to make it much nicer. So we're going to melt that, and then I'm going to keep it on simmer. And I'm going to chop up some peanuts to sprinkle across the top. So I'm going to let that continue to melt. I'm going to grab some peanuts, and we're going to chop those up as well. Okay, so I have some salted roasted peanuts here, maybe half a cup. I thought about doing cashews on the top, or chopped up almonds, because that's what my butter is made of cashew almond butter, but I wanted something that has a little bit of salt to it. So I'm just roughly chopping these peanuts here. They don't have to be perfect. I'm just going to sprinkle these over the top just to give a little bit of crunch to the thing. We're going to have that nice soft texture of the dates in the bottom, creaminess of the peanut butter, and a little bit of, tiny bit of a tartness to the dark chocolate, and a little bit of crunch. Now, if you don't want to add peanuts on the top, that's fine. You can sprinkle it with some flaky salt if you like. If you like that, like the sweet and salty texture, or sweet and salty difference might be nice. And yes, my board is dirty, but that's from the chocolate before, and I'm not concerned that that's on the same thing. I just want to get this done quickly because I forgot to chop those ahead of time. So there we go. We got chopped peanuts. I'm going to get the dates, date and peanut butter tray out, and we're going to get this all assembled. Okay, so I've got this out. It was in the freezer for about 10 to 12 minutes. This bowl is still a little warm, but I think I've got a side that's not too hot. I've wiped the bottom so there's no water dripping, and I did miss a bit of filming earlier, and I think it was just before I put the nut butter on. I made mine about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 centimeter, maybe a centimeter thick. So do whatever thickness you want. You can roll it out thinner if you want to make a larger one, but I think for us this is going to be nice. That chocolate is all melted beautifully there, you can see. So I'm going to pour this from end to end on the top. Yeah, I'm glad I did that extra. I'm not sure if the other amount would have been quite enough. It might have been okay, but a little extra chocolate never hurt anybody. So we're gonna put this a little bit of the corners, down the side. Sorry, you probably can't see what I'm doing here, so I'm just gonna get that last little bit of chocolate out. You don't want to lose any of it. There we go. Perfect. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to spread from the center out. Now I don't want it rolling over too much like that bit, but that's okay. That'll just be an extra little snack for somebody. And we're going to get this from side to side. So basically you're just spreading the chocolate out from end to end, from side to side. And if it melts over the side, which I think this will because I do have a fair amount of chocolate, I'm not concerned about that. That'll just firm up on the edges. Now the other thing you could do, like I said, I have a video of what I call the healthy Snicker bars, or the Snicker bars. You can do them individually, and I will link that video at the bottom. And hopefully, there we go. I think we're pretty good here. Let's get that a little bit more to the edges. I really want to get those edges covered. So when whoever has a bite of this gets a little bit of everything in every bite. That's kind of what you want. All right. So there we go. Chunk it off, and I am going to sprinkle, like I said, it was about 1/2 cup of nuts on the top. I don't want to do too many, but I don't know if I'll need this whole thing. We'll add a few more. And sprinkle it with whatever you like. Like I said, flaky sea salt if you like the sweet and salty contrast. That's always a nice thing to do on this. There we go. And I'll do, yeah, I think 1/2 cup chopped is actually pretty good. Get a few more crunchy bits around the edges. So that's basically it. So I'm going to take this now. I'm going to pop it into the freezer. I'm gonna let it sit for, you know, till it's solid. I'm gonna check it and I'm gonna leave it for half an hour and check it. And once that's all hard the way I want it, we're gonna come back and I'm gonna chop it up and show you what it looks like. Okay, welcome back. So this has been in the freezer for about 45 minutes. I checked it at half an hour. It wasn't quite ready, but I wanted to make sure we had a full set on it. So I'm just going to pull this right off here, and we're going to put it on a board, and you can see that that's nice and firm. So I'm going to get this out of the way. There we go. And this actually made quite a bit. This is going to last a long time, so I'm going to end up keeping probably most of this in the freezer, and I'll put some in a jar. So let's show you what we have here. So we're going to just, I don't know how big I should do these. Let's cut them down the center. Oh, that crunch on the chocolate is lovely sounding. I don't want to do these too big because they are going to be pretty sweet. There we go. I'll probably do them in more of a finger size than a square size. There we go. Pull that down. This meat board is not very big. Or cutting board, I should say. There we go. And we're going to do that one. Perfect. You can feel the stickiness here. Might be good to use a damp knife to cut through this, but we're going to make it work. So there you go. And I'm just going to do, probably 2" by 1.5" size, which I think is going to be more than enough for anybody. So let's see what this looks like. I'm just pulling off the corner here. Oh, I didn't cut quite through there. Let's get a little bit on the meat board so I can cut it. There we go. I'll cut that right through. Perfect. Okay. So here we go. Yep, still not cutting it quite through. So I'll take a moment or two to make sure you get all the way through. There we go. Now we're done. Just did crack a little bit on the top, but there we go. I'll zoom in. Sorry, let me zoom in there. There you go. So that's it there. You can see the dates on the bottom, all the nut butter. That's probably a little bit better view there. Nut butter on the inside and chocolate on the top with a few nuts. So I'm going to try a bite. That's so good. Falling apart on me here, but that's okay. The dates are really chewy. Tastes like a candy. Let me say tastes like a Snickers bar. It's not exactly a Snickers bar, but I've got the Snickers bar, a Snickers bar idea of it. So definitely worth making. This will keep in the fridge or the freezer probably keeping them at 3-4 months. So it'll be perfect. So I do hope you try this recipe. Let me know what you think. Please don't forget to subscribe. And be sure to click the reminder button, and then that way whenever we get a new video popped up, you will get that message as well. And please click the like button. That does help my channel. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for joining me here. Take care and stay safe in the ice storm if you're in Southern Ontario. We'll see you again soon. Just for packaging purposes, I'm cutting these up in the size pieces that I want, and I'm going to use some little parchment baking sheets in between. These are quite sticky, so my recommendation would be plastic wrap, parchment paper, whatever you like, just to put this in layers. I'm going to have probably a couple containers of these, and I'm going to freeze them up, so package them up that way, okay? And that way you'll have your best safekeeping without it all turning into one big clump of goo.